mattina mi sono alzato, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao.
Then, as Rabin was leaving, that's him coming down the ramp. The man in the blue t-shirt approached. 3 shots from behind.
The Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, the architect of the Middle East peace process, has been assassinated.
The assassin, a right-wing Israeli Jew, Yigal Amir.
Truly shocking news from the Middle East tonight. Israel's Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin has been assassinated.
Evening spent dreaming of peace turns into a national nightmare.
Outside the hospital, the crowd began to chant, "Bibi is a murderer." The sign says, "Bibi, Rabin's blood is on your hands."
An assassin has taken yet another world leader away from us. It was just after the biggest peace rally in Tel Aviv.
Rabin's widow blamed Netanyahu for contributing to her husband's death.
The assassination of Yitzhak Rabin has also produced shock in the Palestinian community.
And said so on worldwide television.
Your husband pointed the finger at Mr. Netanyahu.
Is now threatening not to honor any agreement between Israel and the PLO.
I think that if the PLO does not keep up to its end of the bargain, then such an arrangement is certainly not binding on any government of Israel. There have been almost innumerable acts of terrorism since the signing of the agreement. Arafat hasn't condemned any.
As they heard the news that talks are to resume, opponents of the peace process intensified their opposition. In the 4 months since the peace declaration was signed, the government's done little to pacify them, and the latest concessions Israel has made are alienating those who previously supported the declaration. This morning, when the Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin visited Na'amah, a small settlement near the border with the proposed autonomous enclave of Jericho, he ran the gauntlet of angry settlers. Israel's latest concessions to the PLO would, they told him, cut them off from the rest of the West Bank settlements by a road under Palestinian control. People here are deeply worried.
We are for the agreement in Oslo, for Jericho, autonomy for Jericho only, not more than this. More than this is threatening the security of Israel, not only the people that are sitting here.
Israel's opposition is now threatening not to honor any agreement between Israel and the PLO if it regains power. Its leader, Benjamin Netanyahu, filmed here greeting British MPs, argues that though this would be a major breach with tradition, it would be justified.
And I know him. I think that if the PLO does not keep up to its end of the bargain, the meaning of the entire agreement is vitiated. It's obvious that for there to be peace, it has to be mutually honored. And so far, it's unilaterally honored. And such an arrangement is certainly not binding on any government of Israel. Yasser Arafat, in the letter that he sent to Mr. Rabin accompanying the agreement, promised to condemn terrorism at every available public forum. There have been numerous, I would say almost innumerable acts of terrorism since the signing of the agreement. Arafat hasn't condemned any. He was forced by President Clinton to issue, by facsimile, a few lines of condemnation in one case.
The opposition now claims that the peace proposals involve far more than was at first admitted. This group, led by Tzomet, the right-wing party with the fastest-growing support, was shown a natural water source, which the government's agreed to hand over to the Palestinians. In this arid terrain, water is critical, and Tzomet argues that giving it back will harm agriculture in the settlements.
Now, the water source here, if we give the water source away, it is as if we give them the idea that we have no intention to keep even other settlements along the Jordan Valley.
The recent difficulties in the negotiations are making Israelis increasingly anxious, and opinion polls show that many are now having doubts. The attitude of the popular press altered dramatically last month when the talks ran into trouble. Yediot Aharonot, Israel's best-selling daily, showed a picture of Yasser Arafat, captioned, "Whatever happened to the chairman?" It questioned his mental stability and negotiating style.
We asked ourselves, is it an Oriental bazaar with all the methods of the Oriental bazaar, that the person who sells there is offended if you don't argue about the price? I mean, does he really want to coexist with us? Do his people want the same? I mean, I think that the answers are not clear yet. We are trying to find out.
The problem for the opposition leader, Benjamin Netanyahu, is that his party is split, and two other would-be opposition leaders are exacerbating the divisions. But attacks on Israelis are increasing, the government's trying to make peace with a very fragile majority, and critics accuse the opposition leader of failing to use this to destroy the peace process. In Israel's parliament, Mr. Netanyahu admitted the problem, putting it down to the difficulty of being in opposition.
Menachem Begin had, I would say, almost identical problems, as did Yitzhak Shamir, as you well know. And I suppose it's now my turn. There's nothing new there. Life in the opposition is not a walk in the woods.
In the face of a lack of direction from their political leaders, it's the settlers who continue to lead the protest movement. Those here in Sofim on the West Bank are connecting mobile homes to electricity so they can expand their settlement. The challenge for them is to include more people in their protest from within Israel itself. If the talks run into further difficulties, demonstrations are likely to mount, and the government then could find itself facing a far stronger opposition. Liz Donnelly, Channel 4 News.